Hi, it's Bruce again. Welcome to my Colorado Rocky Mountain lab, and today we're taking a look at a B&K 1650 tri-output power supply. It's a laboratory grade power supply. Um, I've had it since about 2012. It's been prominent on my bench. I've used it many times. It is in absolutely pristine shape. I don't think the thing had ever been used when I got it. There's not a scratch on the face, there's not a scratch on the case, no markings, no stickers. And if I turn it around here, you can see that it's just in beautiful condition, like new. It's very good. It's a linear power supply, um, which means it's relatively quiet compared to power supplies. A lot of the digital units, like these I have on my bench over here, they're useful, but they do put out a lot of hash that's hard to get rid of, and that's kind of where this thing shines. The other thing is that it's handy. The tri-output provides 5 volts at up to 5 amps. I think the regulation on that 5 volts is better than 3%. And that's useful for powering large amounts of TTL type chips, or let's be like the 74LS series, for instance, or 74S. Um, that was kind of where this thing kind of came out and was made its mark in its day. It also has a an instruction manual with it that is in brand new condition. Pages are stiff, not dog-eared. Uh, it's never been used. I don't think the whole unit was ever used. In fact, if I remember right, when I got it, it came in a box. But as you can see, the pages have not been turned, and there's specifications, circuit hookup, use of it. Goes into some extensive work and then winds up in the end. There's some calibration information, and then along with it, there is the power supply parts list and schematic diagram. So you got the whole kit and caboodle here. Um, besides the 5 volt output, there we go. We also have 2 independent A and B 0 to 25 volt power supply outputs. Each one can put out a half an amp. And then you've got the metering here. You can choose to look at channel A voltage, channel A current, B voltage, B current, or you can look at the 5 volt, like right now we're getting 5 volts on it, or you have the current, which is 0. You can run those independently, so you have 2 0 to 25 volt outputs, or you can choose to connect them in ways that are pretty much unlimited. Both channels, all the outputs, all 3 outputs are isolated from one another. Um, the nice thing about that would be that if I needed a bipolar power supply where one side was negative and the other was positive, I just wire it up with the jumpers here so that my negative goes to my positive, and then I take my positive and negative outputs out, and I've got a bipolar power supply. I can independently, I could say, have a 15 volt positive, negative 10 volt if I wanted, or I could put the thing into a position where channel B tracks channel A, and I can tell it what percentage B should be of A. It could be 100%, in which case if A is plus 15 volts, B will be plus 15 depending on how it's connected, or if it's bipolar, it could be negative 15. And as I adjust A, B will adjust with it. So if I went to 20, B would go to 20. Or I could choose B to be a percentage of A. So like A could be 15, B could be 7.5. A could go to 20, B would go proportionately up. Let's see, that would be 25%. So if I was at 7.5, I'd go up to what, 10? Anyway, you get the idea. The meter is it's accurate, it's useful. Regulation on the two channels A and B is better than 0.1%. Okay, so the ripple and noise on the 25 volt power supplies is less than 5 millivolts, and on the 5 volt supply it's less than 10 millivolts. Regulation on the 25 volt power supply is 0.1% or better than 25 millivolts from 0 to half an amp on the 25 volt supplies. So we're going to hook it up and just kind of show you that it works, and yeah, give you the quick look over here. Like I say, the thing looks brand new. Okay, so we're going to use this set of meters here. They're accurate enough to demonstrate what I need to demonstrate. So let's begin. We'll connect this B&K 2712 positive to the positive output. We'll do negative to negative, and we'll go positive out on the B supply. So this will be connecting it independently so that both channels are totally independent of one another. Okay, let's go ahead and turn A up. Five 5.001, 2, 3. There's 0, 1. And then the B channel, we can adjust it independently. Let's make it 10. 10.01, 5. So that's independent. Now if I was to flip where B tracks A, then right now, depending on where my knob for B is, I'm getting a percentage of A. So A is reading 5 volts, now B is reading 2.9. Let's take B down to 2.5. That'll be 50%, right? So as I turn my dial clockwise, I am reducing my voltage on B here. All right. All right, there's 2.5 volts. I've got 5 volts going in. So I'm at 50%. Now if I adjust just the A channel, then as A goes up, so does B. Let's take A up to 10. That's pretty close. Well, it was. 9.99 volts, that's pretty close. And we see that B has tracked to 5.05, so it came up from 2.5 to 5 volts. It's because it's a percentage of A. That's because B is tracking A. And they're both positive right now because that's the way I have it wired. If I choose, I could take B. These outputs are independent, so I'm free to do this without shorting anything out. I can make B negative. Alright, so now we've got 10 volts coming in on A, and we've got a negative 5 volts. And it'll track just the same according to A. So let's take A up to 15. 7.5 at roughly 15 volts. So it's tracking. And as we can see on the meter here, we're reading 15 on A, and we're reading about 7.5 volts on B. So no problem. So the unit is working. It's in just beautiful shape. Comes with the manual, with the schematics. Um, be a wonderful thing if you're into working on TTL at all. Analog, it'll supply the power requirements of most analog circuits. Works wonderfully with a breadboard. So that's pretty much it. Happy bidding, and we'll see you again next time.